stop what you are doing right now, because I need you to understand something so deeply, so personally, so completely, that it reaches the place inside of you that no one else has been able to touch. I need you to hear this not just with your ears, but with the very core of your soul. You did not find this message by accident. You did not stumble here through some random sequence of clicks and scrolls. No. Heaven arranged this moment. God Himself ordered your steps to land here, on this day, at this hour, because there is something He has been waiting to say to you, something He has been holding in His heart, just for you, for longer than you know. You were meant to hear this today. Maybe you've been carrying something so heavy that your shoulders have forgotten what it feels like to stand straight. Maybe you've been praying the same prayer so many times that the words have started to feel hollow, like you're whispering into an empty room and no one is answering. Maybe you've watched doors close, one after another, until you started to wonder whether God even remembers your name. Maybe you sat in the silence of a night that seemed too long, wiped tears you thought no one saw, and whispered with a trembling voice, "Lord, how much longer?" I want you to know, He heard you, every single time. He heard every prayer you prayed through gritted teeth. He heard every cry you buried in your pillow. He heard the ones you couldn't even form into words, the ones that left your lips as nothing but a broken exhale. He heard all of it, and not one syllable fell to the ground without meaning. I know the waiting has felt like punishment. I know there have been moments when you looked at your life and thought, maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I'm not worthy. Maybe God is teaching me a lesson by keeping me here. But I need you to hear this truth like thunder rolling through the deepest chamber of your heart. Your delay was never a punishment. It was never rejection. What you called being forgotten was actually being covered. What you called a closed door was actually divine protection from something you couldn't see from where you were standing. God wasn't withholding from you. He was redirecting you. He was positioning you. Because the place He is taking you requires a version of you that the old season could never have produced. Think about the diamond buried deep beneath the earth. It doesn't become a diamond because the process is easy. It becomes a diamond because of the weight, because of the pressure, because of the darkness it endured before anyone could see its brilliance. And friend, that is exactly what has been happening in your life. God has been applying pressure to produce glory. He has been working in the hidden places, in the silent seasons, in the dark nights that felt like they would never end. And He has been forming something inside of you that is more precious, more powerful, more beautiful than anything you could have produced on your own, in your own timing. Do you know what I believe? I believe that some of those closed doors, the ones that broke your heart, the ones you grieved over, the ones you begged God to reopen, I believe that behind those doors was something that would have hurt you in ways you never could have imagined. God saw what you couldn't see. He saw the storm behind that opportunity. He saw the trap behind that relationship. He saw the destruction behind that path. And in His infinite mercy, in His relentless love for you, He closed that door and stood in front of it so you couldn't go back. Not because He was punishing you, because He was protecting you. He loves you too much to let you walk into something that would have set you back years, or broken you in ways that would have taken decades to heal. Every door that closed was a door He closed with His own hand, for your sake, because of His love. And while you were standing outside those closed doors, confused and hurting, and wondering what went wrong, while you were in the middle of that silence that felt so much like abandonment, God was preparing. He was preparing the blessing. He was preparing the person. He was preparing the opportunity. He was preparing you. Because here is what the enemy doesn't want you to understand. Preparation is not the opposite of progress. Preparation is progress. The season you've been in, the one that felt like nothing was happening, the one where you couldn't see any movement, the one where you kept asking, "Lord, when?" That season was the most productive season of your life in the spirit realm. Mountains have been moving. Chains have been breaking. Doors have been unlocking. You just couldn't see it yet. But the unseen realm has been in a holy uproar on your behalf, and what has been shifting in the spirit is about to manifest in the natural in a way that will leave you standing with tears streaming down your face, saying, God, only you could have done this. Can I speak something prophetically over your life right now? This is your turning point. This is the moment the page turns. This is the season where every prayer you've prayed, every tear you've cried, every night you held on by the thinnest thread of faith, all of it is converging into something so magnificent, so undeniable, so completely saturated in the fingerprints of God, that even the people who doubted you will have to step back and acknowledge that the hand of the Lord has been upon your life. What you called a setback, God is about to call a setup. What you called your lowest point, God is about to call your launching pad. What you called your greatest loss, God is about to call the very thing that made room for your greatest blessing. I feel this so strongly in my spirit right now. Someone hearing this message has been on the verge of giving up. You've been so close to releasing the rope, so close to walking away from the promise God placed in your heart, so close to convincing yourself that maybe it just wasn't meant to be. And I need you to hear this with everything I have. Don't let go. Do not let go now. Because you are not at the end of your story. You are at the end of a chapter. And the next chapter, the chapter that is beginning right now, is the one that will redefine everything. It is the chapter of favor and restoration. It is the chapter of healing that comes suddenly and completely. It is the chapter of relationships restored, finances turned around, health renewed, dreams resurrected, purpose ignited. It is the chapter where your testimony becomes so powerful that it reaches into other people's darkness and pulls them back toward the light. Your waiting season is over. Your wilderness season is ending. The very fact that you are here, hearing these words, is confirmation that God is saying to you, it is time. It is time for the harvest. It is time for the overflow. It is time for the doors to swing wide open. It is time for the promises to be fulfilled. It is time for the mourning to turn to dancing, for the ashes to become beauty, for the spirit of heaviness to be replaced with a garment of praise so magnificent, so radiant, so completely transformed that even you won't recognize the person looking back at you in the mirror. So I want you to do something right now, wherever you are, whether you're in your car, in your bedroom, in the quiet of an early morning, or the stillness of a late night. I want you to take a breath, and I want you to release it. And with that release, I want you to surrender every fear, every doubt, every disappointment, every moment of confusion that has been sitting on your chest like a weight. Release it. Give it to God. Because He is not finished with you. He has never been finished with you. He has been writing your story with a steady hand this entire time. And what He writes does not end in defeat. What He writes ends in glory. What He starts, He finishes. And what He finishes is always, always beautiful. You are loved beyond your comprehension. You are seen beyond what any human eye can witness. You are known in every corner, in every hidden room of your heart, and you are not forgotten. You were never forgotten. You are His, and He is yours, and nothing, not the delay, not the pain, not the silence, not the waiting, nothing has changed that truth. This is your moment.